Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Nip and a Half Fantasy Football Podcast by Fantasy Football Hub. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Paul. How are you? How was your first fantasy weekend of the season?
I am good, thanks, Fergi. And kind of middling. Wasn't particularly. Didn't score lots of points, but I do have players playing tonight. In particular, in Dream Team, I've got 3 Chelsea players.
Yeah, I
So
saw that.
yeah, we'll see how. I guess whether or not my weekend was a success in Dream Team will be dictated by tonight's games and the midweek games, but I'd say more so tonight.
Yeah, looking at all four formats, I think I started quite slowly in recent years in most of them, which I found frustrating. I finished slowly. I started slowly in Cloud, but I think in the other three, like nothing to shout about at all, right? But I'm very middling in all three, with João Pedro to play in all of them. So overall, I'm reasonably happy. I remember, I think the last 2 seasons, especially I think in Telegraph and potentially in DreamTeam, I've got off to an absolute stinker, and it's taking me weeks and weeks. And I find what I do then is I'm playing to catch up, so I'm absolutely determined not to do that this time. I do think the fact that there's no real huge fixture runs for anyone. City haven't got 3 home games in 4. With 2 pro teams, or sort of anything like that. And I think we saw this before the season started. I'm kind of thinking even more now. Maybe aside from Arsenal, who don't tend to score lots of goals anyway, there's just not much happening really. I think it's very even Stevens. But yeah, we can talk about all that now, which I'm hoping will suit a patient approach rather than just trying to chase, because not sure there's much to sort of chase at the moment. But welcome everyone in the chat. Great to have you with us. Malloy is in. Said, can we add Cloud to the overall standings to Ultimate? It's the only game we've got off to a good start. Well, if you go on Dream Team Tonic Community and then click over onto the Includes Cloud tab, you can actually see that. Malloy. Anup is in. Nobble says, happy João Pedro Day. I don't want to worry anyone, but I have seen a tweet. So I think it was our FPL Harry or someone saying that João Pedro hasn't posted his usual pre-game Instagram post, and with him in every single format, including bench boost and FPL and captain in Cloud. I'm hoping to goodness he plays. I'm sure most of the people are as well. FF Point Break is in. Matt Woolley, FPL Freddy, Adam Byron says, great to have the football back. It is indeed. Manchester is in. Conk. Jason Manners says, not the best start, but not the worst. That's absolutely fine. And Masha said, Leeds late goal and Thiago Penn miss hurt. Very early days though. I did put in I listened to Carl on a TFF pod last week, and I went with my 5th team, a Forest back 5. So that hurt.
He's in Carl's in one of my leagues, and when that I looked at his score and it was on 70 odd, and I was like, it was taking. It was a bit laggy and updating. I don't know if you saw that on Telegraph as well. And then we updated, and his team points didn't change. So that team that he must have put in that league must have like block Leeds defence or something like that. So.
Brilliant. He loves a block defence. Welcome to Johnny 2. Shall we start off with FPL? So you've had quite a decent start on FPL, I think.
It was okay. I've got 56 points in João, like on bench boost. And
I thought you had a few more for some reason. 56.
Well, the problem was that on Saturday night it looked really good, and then I didn't have Subslide yesterday.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
That penalty was a kick in the teeth right at the end of the game. Considering part of the reason for not picking him was I didn't think he was on penalties.
Yeah.
And maybe it's been well documented or covered that the circumstances might have been that he's not. Did you see his record actually when he stepped up to take the penalty?
Yeah.
Where he's hit them all.
Yeah.
He's hit all to the keeper, to the keeper's right. And he's got that same motion where he puts his foot under and through the ball to try and hit the top corner every time, and the only 2 that he's missed has been on that side on
Yeah,
the bar,
on the
that side on the
bar on the
post.
post, wasn't it? I think. Yeah.
Yeah. His technique at them was brilliant. So maybe he is first choice taker. That's probably something that I need
I
to.
think he is. I think he's first choice. I mean, his record outstanding. That penalty was outstanding. Like, why would you take him off him now? Why
Felt,
would you?
yeah, I felt unlucky and lucky at the same time because obviously unlucky with the penalty in the last minute of the game. It was already past the regulated time. I think there'd been a stoppage
Yeah,
before
yeah,
that. So I don't think I'm not complaining about that. So that in itself is unlucky, but then his set piece delivery is fantastic, and he
really
could add a
is.
few assists from there already. So yeah, well, 8 points is I can sort of live with that.
Interest
Um,
just on Soboslai. I would say I think I mentioned this last week. I don't know if it was on this stream or whether it was on Green Arrow, but I definitely said something along the lines of the reason I really like players like Soboslai and Bruno, wherever else, are these they're on the pitch for the whole game. And how many penalties do you see in like the 94th, 95th minute? It happens a
yeah,
lot. Salah did it a couple of times last year, and Bruno did as well in the opening game weeks. So I get the unlucky thing, but I would say that definitely one of the reasons I picked Soboslai is he's one of very, very few absolute guaranteed 90-minute men, and I did think he'd be on penalties personally, but
yeah. It's not. I'm not. As I say, I'm not. It is what it is. In years gone by, I would get more annoyed by those situations than what I've done in my more mature years.
I don't know what
Um,
mature, just older, mate.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, success. Two successes for the week really for me was Ayer and Njai. I've got Calafiori and Verbruggen and Solis as well, who returned me some points. What am I thinking? No moves this. In fact, I've got a benching dilemma rather than anything else this week. I need to
Yeah.
pick someone to bench out of Liffey, Njai, Solis. So my own fault, my own doing. But for game week 3, I am had a look like because I know that the non-Highlanders and you can obviously discuss what you're going to do. I know the non-Highlanders, a lot of them will be looking at wild card or free hit potentially in game week 3. Either of those will provide a real big upside for game 3, and maybe in isolation or specifically anyway. So maybe the march there is to triple captain Haaland in my position because I don't feel like I want to wild card. I've already got Haaland, so I don't feel I want to wild card that week. I could get Szoboszlai in for Boemo potentially that week, so that would be a move to tidy up probably a position I should have put myself in the first place. Um, and because I've got the additional player to bench as well, it gives me a bit of protection on that Arsenal Chelsea game. Like I could bench Pedro, provided I've got no other fires to put. Plus, I've got that other transfer at that point. So that's currently what I'm thinking just now. And then using my wild card maybe in game week 6 or 5, 6 or 7, something around then, but not committing to anything. So I'm not I'm not rushing anything. I'm not worried about anything in particular. So obviously, it could hurt me again this week against Forest at home, but I'm going to hold off for another week at least anyway on it.
Just seen Gibbs White is injured midweek.
Yeah,
He's not going to be playing midweek, and I think we expect a rotation on both Forest and Leeds anyway. But yeah, I'm no Haaland. I would have been up with you, but for the Thiago the penalty miss, which really really hurt. I mean, obviously watching it as a Spurs fan, it was tough, but I kind of knew as soon as I saw the lineups. I've been really impressed with Brentford. They've been one of the few teams in the league over the summer who have won. They finished the season well. They've kept their manager and they've strengthened their team as well. I think I don't think there's many teams. There's only about 4 or 5 teams. I think you can say that because even though just for example, Villa have kept their manager, their team has been massively depleted. For example, so I do think that Brentford are going to get off to a really good start. So I was really disappointed with that Thiago penalty miss. It cost me a minimum of 6 points, maybe more with bonus. Who knows? But I would have been up with you if not for that. I only had 10 points on my bench boost, but I try to be philosophical about it. I think I said last week, I think 10 is fine. I mean, I would like more, obviously. I had 3 blankers out of 4. The only sort of score I had was Verbruggen, and that was a last minute change from Kinski as well. So I would have had 6 points, which I think that would have been very disappointing. But I think 10, I mean, I think it's okay, right? Like, I think the main part of why I used bench boost early is not to try and spunk a massive hole, which I know that some have, and they've done really well, right? Because players like Sangare, De Cooper, very well played, brilliant. But I don't think either of those were ever really sort of in my mind's eye, really, rightly or wrongly. Captain Bruno, he looked very, very disappointing, I must say, and I feel like I was quite fortunate to get away with the Haaland blank yesterday because my rank would have suffered. Like, I think I'm about 1.2 million overall, which I'm really happy with after the opening game week with João Pedro to play, hoping he plays. But if Haaland had scored yesterday, I'd probably been down at like sort of 5-6 million, I think, because obviously loads of people captained him as well. So Raya, Calafiori, typical. I upgraded Aya to Ballard, which was frustrating for a 0-pointer. But had Solis, had Soboslai, and so I think okay. I'm on 49. João Pedro 1.2 mil, and Game week 3 is an interesting one, as you say. I've got a bench headache this week. I've got an excellent team going into this week. No Haaland aside, and I don't really know what I'm going to do. I was on a bit of a think about it earlier. Obviously, we get another week's worth of information. I can either use 2 free transfers, price changes pending, and do Bruno and Thiago out, but that doesn't feel clever. Taking out 2 90-minute penalty men, or I can free hit, or I can wild card, and
I go home at Sunderland in game week 3 as well.
Exactly. So, or I can wild card, or I can free hit, and I know it's incredibly early, but we'll get to see how Konza, if Konza goes straight into the team in game week 2, it looks like Soboslai looks really good. I think Solis looks excellent as well. And Sangare potentially. So if that's the case, could probably, if you think how cheap those 4 players are, could probably build a really, really nice wildcard team in game week. I don't really want a wildcard in game week 3, especially with some of the fixture swings. But then again, I'm determined this year not to use fixture swings as a reason to wildcard because I don't think it works very often. I don't want a team full of Newcastle and Fulham players. So obviously I'll think about it next week.
I guess one of the issues in wildcard in game week 3 is that Chelsea are away at Arsenal. We've not even seen Chelsea play yet. They could absolutely, I'm not suggesting they will, but they could go and destroy Fulham tonight, and everyone's like, right, you need on Chelsea. But you don't really want them away to Arsenal, but they're at home to Hull in game week 4, and then where does that put you? You're going to have to bench. Do you have to bench those players? Maybe playing João Pedro away to Arsenal's not necessarily the worst, but also not the best if you're wild carding to optimise initially as well.
But looking how Hull play, it's going to be interesting to see how Hull play against Coventry in game week 2 because the way they played against United, I know United were poor, but I thought Hull were excellent actually. I thought they were first to the ball, really aggressive. Maybe it's not going to be, maybe it's, even to start the season, Hull are not going to be the team that everyone sort of hammers. I wasn't impressed with Coventry, really, and I do expect City to put into the sword in game week 3, only based on what I saw on Friday, even though Arsenal, again, were excellent. But, yeah, I'm a bit reluctant to sort of put all my eggs in one basket and make a sort of definitive plan ahead of game week 3, just because we get to see Chelsea play twice, plus in the League Cup. We get to see other teams play in the League Cup and in the league again. There's Champions League as well in game week 3. Not to say that, that will or will not have a massive impact, but, there's going to be fitness issues. We get to see again next week how City and Haaland look away to Palace. We'll see, but interesting stuff.
Yeah, the last comment from me on this was you mentioned you're at 1.2 million. I guess the biggest surprise for me is that with 56 points, which I felt was a little bit underwhelming, I'm like 400k. And if you
Yeah,
had told me
yeah,
last week, would I take being 400k at this point after game week one, I would bite your hand off for it. So
definitely. I
if I
think
look at it if I look at it in that sense, I'm pretty happy.
there was something like 850,000 bench boosts used, which so it probably does artificially stick us up. You would probably be, I don't know, maybe 1.5 million. I would probably be sort of 2.5 or something. But this is the thing of using the bench boost early as well, is for a small sort of artificial boost and to settle in and hopefully be able to retain it. But we will see. Some good points from FPL Freddie. So Chelsea goal prediction has dropped by 0.17. Let's hope that's not that João Pedro is out. Goodness me. And also says Pinnock going to Coventry, maybe mess with some BB this week. I don't know if did I call it on this stream or Green Arrow? I can't remember. But I said one of the big, I think it was this stream actually. I said, what if Coventry sign a centre back? What's that going to do to the bench boost? I think I was arguing of why I think bench boost 1 was better than bench boost 2. I think that was one of my exact points. What if Coventry sign a centre back? Who's going to play? So yeah, interesting. Where do we want to go next? You choose.
What's next on my tabs? Dream Team.
Dream Team. Let's have a look. At a very okayish, again, an okay start. Last minute, I put in Saka. So we know how good Saka is in this format, and I do think that 5.5 million is a very, very good price. Obviously, he's based on his injury-strewn season last time out, but I think 5.5 million is insane value, and he's the kind of player who can go up in price really, really quickly. So I lost out on a point because I brought him in for Calafiori, but I think with Calafiori he's going to remain affordable for quite a while yet. I don't think that with Saka. I think if Saka really kicks on game week 1, they're away to Villa now as well in game week 2, and obviously they look there for the taking. And then game week 3, he could be 6, early 6s by the time it rolls onto that. So I went for him. I was really happy with that. Elsewhere, not much going on at all. Aina kept his clean sheet before being brought off, which was nice for Forest. Hume 5-pointer, Maguire 4, and Mbeumo 4. Solis 7 got the assist. Bruno 4. Gibbs White only 3 and looks injured. We'll probably look to move him on this week, I think. And João Pedro still to play. So
Who's it goes?
Ruffs, yeah. So Ruffs and Hume. So I'm expecting a few drops. I've looked on the Dream Team Tonic site, and I think overall I'm predicted 0.4 up or something. I'm not obviously not sure how right that is. I think Mike's been quite open and said that everything is brand new, so we're kind of learning again. But Gibbs White 3-pointer 4 million. I'll probably move him on. I haven't really thought too much, as I don't tend to do on the Monday morning with all these games to play. Monday evening with all games to play about next week. But I'd like to save some transfers, but I probably won't. I'll probably use both, chase some rises, even though all the teams have only got one game next week.
What I was just having a look there to see if I could find anything from João Pedro, and it's the same kind of rumours as which you've seen. Yeah, I had said at the start, I think my game week on here will come down to how Chelsea perform tonight, because I've got Pedro, Palmer, and Palestra. I don't have Calafiori, and I've got Gibbs White, and I've got a million in the bank as well. So a few of the players that I was looking at, Calafiori, Tavernier as well, should get a 0.3 rise.
I was looking at him. He was the one I was looking at, yeah.
So that's the two that initially sprang to mind. I Gibbs White will definitely come out for one of the two of them. I would have thought. Something else worth noting. So the way that the fixtures fall, all the European teams all double in game week 3 and game week 4.
Yeah.
Because the Europa League teams go into the Carabao Cup and they would play their fixtures in game week 3, and then the Champions League teams that play in Game Week 3 will play their round 3 fixtures in Game Week 4. So that's who gets knocked out of the cup, and the strength of the teams that go through might also dictate to me
Yeah,
about
it's a really good
who
point.
would potentially lose out. I'm thinking those Chelsea players in particular. Like, I don't know if Leicester would maybe get minutes midweek or not. Like I'm not holding out for that, but that's something that would definitely come into my thinking in terms of the priority of shifting whoever on from my
Yeah.
team rather than necessarily who's coming in. But then again, like players like Tavernier, because they weren't supposed to double in game week 3, but would if he played any part of the League Cup, the Carabao Cup game, then do actually double in 3 and 4 as well. So yeah, few things to think about there.
Yeah, he obviously scored. He'll probably go up 0.3, and they're in Europe as well, aren't they? And their
Yeah, I thought
fixtures are okay
I
as
had in
well.
my
I think their
mind,
fixtures are all right.
I had in my mind that he's always injured or he's
He was
regularly
injured
injured.
for a lot of last season, I think.
Yeah, but I think that was that I think that was just one
I
spell
think so.
rather
Yeah,
than
I think so.
yeah.
He
Yeah, I
came
don't
back
think
and he looked really dangerous. No, he scored a penalty if you remember, and then he went off injured in the same game. And then he came back sort of eight weeks later or something, and he looked absolutely frightening at the end of the season. I owned it. He was a frustrating own because I'm sure in one game he had like over
points
2
dodging, points
XG and hit the
dodging rather.
post, and he couldn't
Yeah,
get the
points
points.
dodging.
I really like him. I think he's a really good player, and the fixture good as well. They'd be home to Everton in game week 2, which is fine, and then they would double in game week 3, double in game week 4, and they got Liverpool. Another thing is Forest, especially if they go out tonight. They've got Liverpool away as a sole fixture in game week 2, and then they would have Spurs as a sole fixture in game week 3 as well. So another reason just to look at Forest and Leeds this week. Jason Manners says Ryan looks good. He was, yeah, he does. He looks okay as well. So yeah, plenty to have a look at. But I'll be chasing the rises and falls early on, I think, particularly as I've got 4 players who are not in Europe, and obviously we'll want to move most of those on, depending on some of the results. Like I say, because for example, if I don't know, Aina's due a 0.2 rise or something, you could still sort of grab the rise if they go through in the Carabao, play him in game week 3, and then maybe get rid after that or something. So, but see how the rest of the week sort of plays out. Anything else? Take your eye in Dream Team.
No, I think that's it for just now.
So it's a really loud motorbike going past. I can't really hear. I'm just trying to think again. Obviously, Haaland blanked, Bruno blanked. Yeah. Solis, I think, looked good for 4 million. Happy to hold him. Happy to hold Saka nice and early as well. So we'll see. Let us know in the chat how you got on Dream Team this week, and if you'll be using your transfers or potentially looking to save. Should we look at Telegraph?
Yes.
Have a look.
Underwhelming start for me, but then whilst I have seen some monster scores elsewhere, I can't see where a lot of those would have came from, apart from maybe like block Arsenal defences, perhaps. From there, I know the Leeds defence done well as well. There's a few mid-priced options that have done well. I went without Bruno Fernandes, like I suggested I was going to do. I've got Trafford in goal, so got a clean sheet. Gabriel in defence, got a clean sheet. My Nico Williams clean sheet was busted right at the end by Anton Stack. And my only other points to note is again I've got Njai in my team, so he did well, and I've got Thiago missed a penalty. So I feel if I wasn't going to go Thiago, I would have went Calvert-Lewin, and he only got 1 point, so it only been 1 point difference there. So yeah, and I've got Pedro to play, so 33 points for me for the week. Pretty slow start, but I'm not panicking. I've got Gibbs White. I think I'll just leave it just now, I think.
Yeah, you have to in the week, don't you? I saw Garner was on the bench, but I went with Stack, which was a stroke of fortune. Really ended up with 8 points. I got 2 points less than you. I'm only on 31 points. Palestra and João Pedro to play, Sangare, Gabriel, Stack, my only returners. But again, I just don't really feel any inclination to chase at all. I don't think there's anything to chase. I'm not even sure sort of what I would chase, really, like I say, because there's no sort of huge standout, players or fixtures. Maybe I think is Konza something like 3.5 for Arsenal or something.
Yeah.
I think he could be really good at some point potentially. You could maybe move, if Gibbs White is out for a few weeks potentially, but yeah.
Is there anything, any lineup midweek that would make you consider a transfer?
I don't think so. Obviously Chelsea, but I expect them to put out a sort of second string with like Delap and whatever, and I'm definitely not going to use, because it won't be, well, it could be 2 if you get like a prem style. I'm trying to think of what the fixtures would be. Chelsea and Luton is obviously the really nice one. Spurs and Charlton.
Palmer's still really expensive, so you'd have to lose either Haaland or Bruno, I'd imagine, if you were going for Palmer.
Brentford away to Birmingham. They're not that nice, are they? I don't think any of them are really that nice. So probably that's the only one I would look at. But I'm trying to think who would play. Maybe Palmer potentially, in terms of if he does play, because he'll obviously play again.
Rodgers. What about Gibbs? What about if Rodgers started and you had, what was it, 0.2 in the bank? Would you move Gibbs White onto Rodgers?
I don't think so. I've just got no appetite to chase at all this year. I think it's because the team is reasonably solid. I don't feel like I'm missing. I'm probably missing out on Arsenal defence. I've only got Gabriel, but maybe other than that, I don't particularly like their opening fixtures after Coventry anyway. So yeah, I just got no appetite really. Just gonna sit in nice and tight. The most boring content ever. The most boring weekly content ever, but yeah. Manchester said he messed up last season targeting Grimsby. I think I brought in like, is it Dorgu and Cunha or something? Both of them started.
Oh, no, it was Man United. So it was Grimsby. They put out Man United, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think I put in Dorgu and Cunha, and they like didn't Dorgu go off injured or something, and then they lost. What I can't remember. It was something like that. It was horrendous. So yeah, things like that. When I look at the end of the season, when I could, I would give my soul for 2 transfers at the end of the year. You just think, Noble saying taking out Gibbs White for Rodgers, taking out has had 0.2 in the bank. There you go. Nobles has just said that in the chat. Johnny Curry started with Tavernier in DreamTeam. He says just don't look at the rest of the team. Look at that, but yeah, I think he's going to be quite a popular transfer, I would guess. Not too much else on Telegraph. Should we have a quick look at Cloud? I didn't start too well at all. I didn't get many bonus points.
I've had a really good start in Cloud.
Have you?
Yeah. 78 points.
Flipping heck. Not more than me.
But the Captain Mosquera, I know that people were put off with the Konza signing. There was just, in isolation, there wasn't anything that I thought was a massive upside. I thought Saka's minutes, I didn't want to flip around my team when knowing that I'd stabilised and I was happy with that team for over a week. So I didn't want anything to really disrupt it, and I didn't have that much time to think because I was at Biffy Clyro as well. So I just kept it as Captain Mosquera. So I was pretty happy with 8 points doubled. Trafford and goals got 10-pointer.
Oh, did he?
Maguire,
Jesus.
Yeah, Maguire got 5 points. So I was pretty happy with that considering they lost 2-0. Again, Nico Williams busted clean sheet, but I do have Anton Stack. So that outcome.
You're flying.
Sangare, Sobslai,
God.
and then just the same captains that failed everybody else. So Fernandez, Haaland. I've got Calvert-Lewin, and then captain and João Pedro tonight, assuming he starts. If not, I will have to do
No, I
something.
had the complete off. I had a nightmare. I only had 55 points. Rushworth, Van Dijk, and Xhaka only got a point each, which is very disappointing. I was thoroughly expecting at least some passing moves between them, but Newcastle were fantastic, weren't they? Got to say, Langer was absolutely electric. So I take it that Van Dijk especially is normally good for passing still, sort of given his price.
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure. I think was his points last season not masked by quite a decent-ish attacking
Yeah,
return
he
still.
scored like 230 points. I did have a look compared to Szoboszlai scored about 180. So I did just assume that he's still like a beast for
Yeah.
passing, but yeah, I was expecting more of both of those. Sangare, same. Calvert-Lewin. I had Anderson. It looks like he might be injured, which is well, well. Apparently it's cramp, so he might be back. But again, I was expecting a lot more of Anderson in terms of he didn't get anything. I know he went off quite early, didn't he? Actually, he went off like 65 minutes or something, so he may have
Yeah.
been close to passing or something. But expected more really. But yeah, nothing. So shall Pedro captain this evening? See how it plays out. If Anderson is injured, 9.1 million. Any recommendations? They play first. Oh, they play first on Friday, which is a bit of a pain.
Yeah, have you got Leeds coverage for
Yeah,
that
Calvert-Lewin. I
puts you
think I've
all
got a
right?
captain for every day until the break. Brentford, Chelsea. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. They they play first anyway, so I get to see really if he's fit or not. He is.
Anderson was one tackle short of tackle bonus and
What's that? Sorry.
eight. Anderson was one tackle short of tackle bonus and 8 passes short of passing bonus. Oh, in fact, it's 55. He was 3 passes short of passing bonus and one tackle short of tackle
If he'd have
bonus.
stayed on for 5 more minutes, it'd have probably been on like 6 or 7 points
Yeah.
instead of two. Superb. Thiago Pen missing FPL and an Anderson injury after 65 in Cloud. Roll on the new season. Anything to look ahead to or think about, Cloud, ahead of the weekend?
No, other than people like me that went Mosquera. We'll just obviously keep an eye out on the Arsenal game, but I think I'm just going to take the chance, run through, and then if I need to make a change to captaincy at that point in time, it'll probably cost me 2 transfers because I don't think I can afford anyone from Mosquera. But I wouldn't see any reason why away to Villa, I don't think Arteta would give
Don't
Konza
reckon?
his debut there, and the fact that Mosquera played well and kept a clean sheet. I don't. We'll see. We'll see.
I think he plays Konza. I don't think you pay that amount for a 28-year-old and just leave him on the bench. Well, I just can't see any benefit whatsoever. Mosquera is, he's a good player, but he's definitely an understudy. He's a youngster. He's an understudy. I think Konza goes straight in. So, but you get to the lineups anyway. How much is Konza?
He
If you maybe do a
is.
straight swap.
Is he still under Villa or is he under? Must be under Arsenal now.
A rush? He's 7.9.
Oh, he's the same
He's the
price.
same.
He's the same price as He's the same price as Mosquera.
There
So
you are.
I will. Yeah, if Mosquera has dropped for Konza, that is exactly what I'll do because I can't afford anybody else, and I'm on 3-4-3, so it would have to be a defender that I was moving on to anyway. So there you go.
I have
Decision
to
made.
move to. I just had a look if I could do Anderson to Konza for a 5-2-3 formation, and I can't. So I've got to find a midfielder, which is frustrating.
There's plenty of options. Obviously.
Cool. Okay. For those who haven't seen, my goodness. Oh, I probably need to update the link actually in the YouTube description, but Mike has already knocked up the league. I don't know if you've seen it, Paul.
Yeah, I've got it on
It's
screen just
absolutely
now.
unbelievable the work that has gone in. Well, I say the work. He did it in about an hour, so he probably did a lot of the prep beforehand. But yeah, we've got 78 entrants into Ultimate Fantasy Manager this year. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined in. It's a new record for us, which is great. How have you started, Paul? Obviously, I know Chelsea play this evening, so
Yeah, on the traditional format that we've set
yeah.
up, I am sitting 45th out of 78, so middle of the table, and you're on your 35th on there.
I think you've got more players than me across the board, though, haven't you? Definitely
Yeah,
in Dream
yeah,
Team.
yeah. I mean, at this stage as well, it's so congested that after tonight it could be anything.
Yeah.
And I've just given a quick update on the top 10. We've got James Northrop in 10th. I think James is one of the few people in the top 10 here that I shouted out from being in the top 10 a lot last season. I could be wrong. Um, Paul Woodhead in 9th, Adam Byron in 8th, Dan Sherwood in 7th, Thomas Staines and Init Raja in 5th, Daniel Wilkinson in 4th, Stephen Self in 3rd, Craig Garton in 2nd, and Gary Carter in 1st. Gary's got a average mini league rank of
That's
8.33.
a good
He is
start.
6th in Dream Team, 13th in TFF, and 6th in FPL.
Oh, 78
And
managers. That's insane.
yeah. And I'll maybe do just top three if I include Cloud, what that looks
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
maybe do that on a
yeah. You
weekly
carry on.
basis as the podiums spots. So Andrew McGill in third, Dan Sherwood in second, and Gary Carter again still remains first, even if you include Cloud in there. He's 25th and out of 52, I think it is, from the Cloud representatives in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
52.
Superb work. And to your point earlier, Paul, about FPL and ranks, out of the first 24 managers there, only one didn't use a bench boost, which was Scott, who's had a nice start overall, 17th overall. Scott Harris, Dream Team Professor. So he's the only one who hasn't used bench boost in the top 24 managers, which just goes to show really that it's had a big impact. If you look down the bottom, out of the bottom 13 managers, only one has used a bench boost. So I think
Yeah.
these placings are very, very artificial and will definitely even out.
Yeah,
when we
Scott's sitting 17th overall, and he's 65th on the FPL for that
That's
reason.
yeah.
Didn't use his bench boost.
He must have been flying then in the other games. So yeah, and so yeah, I'll pop the link in the YouTube description. But yeah, it updates real time. Thank you so much to Mike and the Dream Team Tonic guys for hosting the league this year. It looks absolutely fantastic. The amount of detail as well. You can click into each. You can click into total points for each player, and it gives you loads of information like FPL, everything, squad value, chips used, captain, TFF, your overall rank, how much money you spent on your squad. Interestingly, Dream Team, it also tells you quite a lot of. Well, I can't scroll over to that one at the moment, but captain, transfers, all sorts of things. So insane work. Thank you so much,
It's
guys.
fantastic.
Really, really good. Okay, mate. Anything else to cover this week?
No,
Quietish one,
no,
really, I
that's it.
suppose. Early doors.
Sorry?
I said it's a quietish one, early doors, I suppose. All eyes on João Pedro. Oh, I hope he's playing. I'll be gutted if he's not.
Yeah, we might have some stories next week because I'm seeing you on
Oh, goodness me.
Saturday for a pub session, so down in Wales. So yeah,
We'll have to see if we can find a table tennis table somewhere in Bilthwells. Well, not a thing to get searched for every day, is it? Table tennis in
so
Bilthwells.
this long standing verbal rivalry we've had.
I almost don't want to play it to keep the mystery going.
like Uncle Bryn in the
The
fishing
fishing
trip.
trip, exactly that. Just keep it going. Well, I smashed you in pool last time after you were chirping off the first time. So
That was only because I brought my own cue. I brought my own cue.
Class is permanent, mate. You can have your luck with
It's
your...
like if we turn up for table tennis and you really just slap out the Michael Jackson glove and then put that on, the paddle comes out the other back pocket.
I do the old underarm serve and all this
Yeah,
jazz. I definitely don't do any of that. Cool. Okay, mate. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us, and I think we'll be back next week.
yeah. It might not be Monday, or it might be an alternative time on Monday, but yeah, we'll definitely get something sorted.
I doubt we'll have our proper voices after a weekend on the beer with a load of Scotsmen, especially after last time when I think I phoned in sick for work for a day or two. So we'll see. I do remember last time. Just really quickly, it was it Old Firm Derby at midday or something? Wasn't it on the Saturday?
That's right.
And I turned up at like 5 to 12, 5 minutes early. And I do remember at half time, you were getting us in our 5th pint. And I had to say, Paul, I don't drink like this. I was absolutely bladdered by half time on the first match. So I think after that I had a few pints of water and lasted the night though, didn't we? Which was the main thing. Okay, cheers all. See you all next week.